Today we're going to completely disassemble the Glock 19 Gen 4 slide for cleaning purposes. So the first thing we want to do to disassemble the slide is remove the rear cover. And the rear cover slides off in this direction. The rear cover is held in place by pressure from a spacer, which is part of the striker assembly. And the striker assembly has a spring which pushes up on the spacer. You just get a little pin punch in here in this gap and push this down. You can see that whole spacer in the back move. And if you put that in there and you press down on it like I just showed you, while you're pressing down, you can push the spacer right out because the pressure has been released. Now keep your thumb over there as you remove, because these two things are spring loaded and they might pop out on you. They probably won't, but they might pop out on you. So we have in here the striker assembly, which just slides right out like that. And then you also have the extractor plunger, and this is just a long rod. It starts here and you can see the other end of it here. It puts pressure on the extractor, which is right here, to keep it from falling out. So that just pushes down on it, and you can see when you remove this, so we have a little piece of plastic on the end, a spring, and the extractor plunger here. Now these all can come apart. You don't need to take these apart necessarily unless they're real dirty. I just want to show you that it is actually 3 pieces. I'm going to keep this together for now. This isn't too dirty, so I'm not going to worry about that. And now that there is no more pressure on the extractor can now be easily removed. But before you do that, you need to know that this striker safety plunger is also spring loaded. So you want to be careful here that things don't go flying across the room. You can press down on this plunger and your extractor will then fall out, and then gently release the plunger so it doesn't pop out and fly across the room. That can also fall out, but you want to grab it. If it doesn't fall out, and you got a little spring, so that's what that looks like. All right, so now we have removed all the working parts from the slide, and the only other things on the slide are the front sight and the rear sight. I'm not going to remove the rear sight because I don't want to throw it out of adjustment. It just slides out. You can tap it out with a pin punch or use a sight pusher tool to get that out. To remove the front sight on a Glock, there's just a special screw that screws in from inside and holds that in place. This one's a little bit damaged, so I may be replacing that at some point. But for today, I'm just going to show you how to remove it. It's nice to have this special Glock tool that is just right for that very, very small screw in there. And you'll see what I mean when I pull it out. It's got a very flat head on it, and it's very difficult to get a hold of that with needle nose or your standard tools. So you just unscrew that, all right? And once you unscrew that, you can see this is what a Glock Front sight looks like. It's just plastic. It's got a little white dot on it, as you can see. And the screw looks like this. It's got a very, very thin, tiny head on it. So it's very hard to get without a special Glock front sight tool. All right, now the striker assembly does come apart further than this as well. I wouldn't recommend it unless you find it to be very dirty. So to get this apart, you need to push down on this spring here, and then this little plastic piece will come apart in 2 pieces and kind of fall out. I prefer to use a little bench block. You kind of want to support this metal part, not just the spacer. It makes it a little easier. All right, so I'm just going to put it in this little hole here. You want to grab the very top of the spring just underneath this black, this is called a cup, this black part here. You just want to squeeze the spring just below the cup, and when you push down, you'll see that this cup falls apart. It's 2 pieces, 2 halves, and that just falls out. And then gently let the spring rise up and off the top of the firing pin. So this is the actual firing pin. If you have a Gen 5 Glock, you'll see that this pin is a little bit different. It's mostly the same, but it's a little bit different than that Gen 5. So this is the Gen 4, and then the spacer just comes right off, and now you have everything apart. All right, that concludes the disassembly of the Glock 19 Gen 4 slide for cleaning purposes. Please check out the description for all the tools we used in today's video. I will be doing a cleaning and reassembly video very shortly on this slide, so we'll see you in the next video.